Blessed Lord. Give thanks. Thanks for your presence. Welcome to the shock of the hour. Courtesy Sky Media. Of course, you know the mystic vibration definitely in your realms. We glorify Emperor Haile Selassie the first in all doings and sayings. Give thanks for his presence with us, the life giver and the keeper of life. We're talking about the father and the mother of creation, the 2nd of November, 1930. Of course, we know of such coronation of such father and mother of life, the life giver and the keeper of life. So give thanks. Of course, you know, this is the shock of the hour. Yes, I give thanks for your presence. We do give thanks for Melchizedek with us in flesh. And hey, we're going to be going deep tonight. This is a serious one. I mean, this is something that just came out of, you could say, the blue touching up the one man eye. Eh? Give thanks to the one prophet man eye himself there. And this is something that he just brought to my attention. And that just changed the whole script of the shock of the hour this evening. And we say we'll be discussing this. This has to do with, I think this may have been a recent cutting edge by Brother Mutabaruka that he did. So that would have been, I guess, last night. I don't know. I haven't listened for a good while, I must say. And so there was this back and forth discussion as it relates to the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edward, as it relates to the visit of Haile Selassie. You know, there's this special visit in 1970 that Haile Selassie paid to the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, and he didn't visit nobody else but him. And that's something that, you know, Bobo Shanti keep up. So, I mean, you know, other ones, those who know of it are very skeptical of that. You know, that wasn't in the newspaper and didn't hear the Gleaner say nothing about that. And for example, 1966, that was a big thing, you know, a big gathering. The whole vibes. Never before has there ever been such a presentation given to any foreign dignitary, like what happened on the 21st of April, 1966. But the one in 1970 now, it was just like a hush hush, you know. Nobody hear about this, nobody know about this. Only the Bubba Shanti talk about this. What kind of, well, yeah, this is another make-up story, more than likely, you know, a brother like Mutabaruka would see it like that. But anyway, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna run a short excerpt from that program. It's quite low, I must say. The audio, not very good, but we're gonna do what we can to enhance it for you so you could listen to it and we could have a little reasonment on it. The whole thing about the Earth Day or the birthday of King Emmanuel came up to. So, I mean, I could only tell you what I know, eh? Yeah, of course, I could only carry you where I could go. I ain't gonna make up nothing for nobody to push this along. But let me just remind, of course, for those who may still have it on their plate, for the international community, we are dealing with the 3rd of February. Remember, the 3rd of February is the lifeline, what people would refer to as the deadline, as it refers to the essay competition This is the Priest Isaac's essay competition, and that is, we are officially looking to launch it officially on the 5th of February. So for those who may not have received the official letter that has to do with us asking or requesting for sponsorship as it relates to this, we did a whole presentation on the internet on YouTube when we released the statement as it relates to the essay competition. I must say, you know, from my heart, I find that people are very trivial. People like a lot of debates. People like a lot of talking. People like a lot of confusion. Anything that sounds like something that, you know, is a little provocative. See, like this here, you anybody here, boy, Mutabaruka said something about the Bobo them and Prince Emmanuel and the king never meet. Boy, this sound hot. That's where we are. Sad. Yeah, sad. Remember, we check the stats and we look at the analytics. But the minute you say teaching children African history, essay competition, gifts for the children, we watch that later. Or maybe not watch it at all. That's how we meditate. It is sick. And that's why, I mean, trust me, that's why when we step into this, we don't even play when it comes to certain aspects. But anyway, that's not what it's about tonight. So I'm just reminding you, of course, again, the essay competition, we are definitely, this is our 8th year. Just a reminder, this is our 8th year going at this essay competition. So this is year number 8, of course. And, you know, this is, I'm going to do another program. I'm going to put this program, this will be a program for the internet. And I'll be going into the whole aspect of our Afrocentricity as it relates to our morals and our ethics. And this is the reason why we do this essay competition, because you see, a lot of us, we look at the children as if they are the problem, but the children are the solution. And this lack of what we call lack of morals and ethics is because the culture that we are a part of now does not have that as a part of it's not intrinsic then to the development and the education of our culture that we are in now. That is why we advocate, or we push, I should say, to get Afrocentric education, African history and heritage into the curriculum. They carry and kill for real. Is gonna carry and kill with their educational system, their syllabus. You hear that? You come off of the bus, you're really silly when you're done with that, eh? I telling you, yeah, man, 21, salute. Yeah, so that's how it is around here, long story short. So the point I'm making here is, in reality, the reason for the essay competition really is to instill in the child that whole vibes of who they are, who their ancestors are, where they're really from. You have a whole system. You have Chinese people in school and not teaching them nothing about China. You have Japanese in school and nothing about Japanese history. You have killer whales in school teaching them about lobster, talking about, well, it's still sea creatures. That ain't good enough. So what you're doing now, you're literally, you know, going against nature, taking away the reality of who they are from them. That is real. That is real. So this is why this is something we do from our heart every year. This is something that is national, something we intend to go internationally very soon. But of course, you gotta grow. So since the authorities of which we live amongst at this moment have not taken this package that we have created on board, we just decide to do it by ourselves every year. And that is why we extend our hand even to those of you who are supposedly like-minded and may not be doing it, but like to see it be done. Well, we are doing it. And that is why we also even ask for the assistance as it relates to this essay competition each and every year. So definitely you could make your contributions to this essay competition itself. You could email us, of course, Priest, Priest 27 at gmail.com. And of course, for well, all of our subscribers would have gotten the statement. Those who would not have received the statement, you could definitely see it on our YouTube channel as it relates to the statement related to the essay competition. Now, as I said, on the cutting edge. Now, let me just pull this up for you right now. And I'm going to be taking it from the platform of Nkrumah in Chinwizu. So this is Mutabaruka from the cutting edge. So you may want to turn up the volume and let's see if we could listen to this properly.
I got security guard. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. May I hear you?
Yes, I give thanks, you know.
Yeah, man.
From what you do and check up on a thing different from where you're going tonight, yeah.
Yeah, talk, man. Anything.
What do you mean a caller? I have to say to know when Prince Emmanuel born.
Yeah.
You say nothing about Prince Emmanuel.
No, I never say I don't know nothing. I say I never know when I'm born, but I go find out.
This one I say, no?
Yeah.
You don't listen, you know.
I never say I don't know nothing.
Prince Emmanuel.
I say I don't know when I'm born, I'm going to find out.
No, you say you don't know nothing and she'll have to go after Bobo dread that.
All right, go on talk.
Right.
Go on talk.
And then you say to her, say, why she asks her the caller to sound like a female.
Yeah, you're a female.
A female.
Yeah.
You check Prince Emmanuel and the Emperor Selassie on a photograph, a shake hand. Your reply, your reply to her was, many people and Selassie shake.
Yeah.
And the daughter asks, you know.
Yeah, me hear you, man. So what you say? What you going to say? Tell me what you got.
That photograph, you don't know that photograph.
I have the photograph in my house.
April 1966 when
I have the photograph in my house, Bridget.
You're not listening?
Yeah.
You say, if you never know that photograph of the daughter asks you, the 24th April.
But you never hear me say, I have the photograph.
So all you tell us you don't know nothing about Prince Emmanuel.
I never said I don't know nothing. I said I don't know when I'm born. I was going to find out from a bubble. She asked me about his mother, and she asked me when I'm born. All right, yeah, Bobo.
Listen carefully, man. We're not reached us yet.
No. You don't have no time for reach no yet. Me ask if he's a Bobo.
I say.
He's a Bobo, yes I know. He's a Bobo. He's a Bobo.
It's 19.
I come to quarrel me at the night, Virgin. I mean, why like me ask you if he's a Bobo.
In this judgment, but in a night, yeah. You should have tell the data here April 1966 that when His Majesty come here and meet Prince Emmanuel and he was the
first. But me have the picture in here. And it's right. I don't that she asked me when the man born. And his mother.
You're not
all right. Tell me when him born. 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 Tell me when him born.
Listen what I say, man.
No, me not listen to what I say. Tell me when him born. Tell me when him born. Tell me when Prince Emmanuel born. Tell me when him born.
Listen what I say. You're not to tell me.
Tell me when. I'm going to ask you one more time. Tell me when Prince Emmanuel born. One more time I'm going to ask you. No, I'm not listening. I'm not listening.
And you come back.
I'm not listening.
You come back. I talk about him born down at St. Elizabeth. Till back to here.
At St. Elizabeth in born. All right, when born?
Where you get that information from?
When born?
Where you get the information from?
When born? Where you put me on stand? Me ask you when him born? When born?
You don't answer me.
No, me don't know when born. Me tell you St. Elizabeth and you say St. Elizabeth. So when born?
That tell the data say April 1966 that photograph is.
But I know the photo. I have the photo. Everybody see the photo.
Listen, man.
All right. You don't want to talk to me. You don't want to talk to me. You don't want to talk to me. You want to talk to me. I don't want to talk to me.
You know what you may say?
No, but me hear what I say. Me ask you. Me say Prince Emmanuel born at St. Elizabeth. And you are telling me something different. When this party born and when him born. When Prince Emmanuel, hey, go lock him up, Bridget. Lock him up. May I tell you, boy, may I tell you one? The man say about him born at St. Elizabeth. Him no want answer me. Me tell him, me talk when him born and which part him born to the daughter, and him no agree with me. Me know one of them man where it vex when me say, you have some man that talk about Prince Mother and have no mother, you know. I bet you one of them man there. One of them man there, I tell you, say, we tell people, say, Prince Emmanuel have no mother, nor no father, because he's a Melchizedek. And them idiot things the why people don't like Rasta, you know. And them idiot fool talk about Prince Emmanuel have no mother, nor father. Me see the picture, me have the picture with Prince Emmanuel that Sheikh Haile Selassie in a king house. True, me never tell him the date. She never asked about no date. She asked me when Prince Emmanuel born and who was his mother. I said, I don't know when him born and his mother, but I'm going to find out. You understand? From a bubble. So I was hoping that a bubble would call and tell me. So I go find out. Say Prince Emmanuel born in a St. Elizabeth in a 1915 or something like that. Yeah, all right. So if him say him no born at St. Elizabeth, he must tell me when him born. Cause him one of them will look like him going to tell me say Prince Emmanuel never born. From no mother and no father, now beginning or end of days. Idiot people them, idiot thing, idiot. My vibes, yeah. Can get back to my vibes, yeah. Oh, the time is I saw 12 o'clock. I saw 12 o'clock, you know. You know, get no tight, you know, with your little idiot foolishness talk, you know, youth. Or whosoever you be, you know. You're not going to get me out. You understand? So, if you want to call back, you can call back, you know. But if you go call back and don't tell me which part Haile Selassie born, which part Prince Emmanuel born and when him born, don't call me. Because you tell me, say, I know St. Elizabeth him born, and you tell me, say, me not tell her the date of the thing underneath the picture. Everybody have that picture there. Who are Rasta and Rasta, everybody have that picture there. Prince Emmanuel at Sheikh Haile Selassie in a king's house with him gloves on. True, me not tell her the date now. You take offense to it. And me tell her, me talk about the day, the birth, the date, and the which part him born. And him tell me say, him no born the son. So if him no born the son, tell the lady, she must have listen now, tell her which part, tell him say me wrong. All him have to say, boy, Muta, you're wrong, you know. That's why I'm showing some, you know, like certain people, they don't get so religious for me, you know. You see them like a religion, Rasta religion business, eh? Arrogance business. All him have to do tell me, say, boy, Muta, Prince Emmanuel no born, I St. Elizabeth, you know, and him no born pan 1915 or whatsoever, you know. And then tell me when him born. That's simple. But guess what? I bet you, say, it's one of them man where I tell you, say, Prince Emmanuel no born, neither mother nor father nor beginning of any day. Because whole heap of them taught them thing there. Whole heap of them taught them ignorance there, you know. In a them time when knowledge increase, and people supposed to know what them are say. Man still a hold on upon them foolishness out of Bible about man named Melchizedek when neither have mother nor father nor beginning of end of day. Come out a woman with the union of a man and a woman. It's just so it go. So, me don't know. All the man have to tell me say me wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're blessed?
Yes, Muta.
I remember.
Long time ago, link just still. I recommend the next story, man.
No, you know why? He might tell me when me never do and him not tell me the right thing. If me wrong, he must tell me the right thing.
Man, I say you say.
Me say, you know what me say?
I know, so you did say.
The lady asked me.
No.
You did not listen?
You the man born that you never
you did not listen last week?
No, man, before that. Before last week, I think.
I know last week?
No, I think I week before.
Yeah, she asked me if me know when Prince Emmanuel born and who I'm mother. And I said, me don't know, but me have asked a Bobo.
Yeah.
So I find out, say, him born in a St. Elizabeth, and him born 1915. But him say, but me I tell you woman about him born at St. Elizabeth. All I want to find out, If it wrong, tell me when ban. Simple. You know?
Like, everything, But you sound ingenious, man. You sound...
No, you know. You see, when a man arrogant and fundamentalist and religious, it's so people go on, you can't know a religious fanatic, When you hear a fanatic, you know a fanatic, All you can't tell me about the picture. Everybody, me don't know no Rasta will not have that picture there with Prince Emmanuel that she Haile Selassie.
No. Him look about Peter. Why know about this man what
I don't know. Look, I am not a bobo. I don't follow bobo. I appreciate where I go and I appreciate your Prince Emmanuel. As a matter of fact, if I start talking, I'm going to tell me say lie, me I tell. I'm the first person anywhere for any station bring the house of Bobo on the radio down at IRFM, where Prince Emmanuel was so glad and happy that me do it. Him say, why? I can tell you where I go, because I have to talk about it. Me step on the radio one night and I say, boy, I would have like the Bobo House company program,
Listen.
That time Mr. Young now, I say, oh, me going to do it. And I say, oh, you mean, just bring them inside of the studio? Him say, how much of them? I say, me don't know how much of them. Prince Emmanuel agree. You see the night when we were going to do the cutting edge? When we look outside, we see a busload of Bobo out there. Prince, Mr. Young start getting nervous now. I said, no, man, Mr. Young, where are you dealing? All of the man, them come inside there, and we talk to them for 4 hours on the radio till 2 o'clock in the morning. The next day, Prince Emmanuel sent message to me and said, boy, I appreciate when I do and things. So I say, on the radio, before him tell me that the day after, I said, want the sister them. I want our peer man come. I want the sister them come to Prince Emmanuel, send the sister them for the next program. You understand? So where the money attack, no, it's insignificant. Insignificant.
Look at man, if I did a derm or road, man, you used to come on and have that comes down.
Yeah, from the shop.
I read book,
I'm from round there, so I'm from round there.
Don't freeze,
Yeah, I'm from round there. When we did round there, so Prince Emmanuel, they agree for send them.
Yeah, man.
One bus load of Bobo come round IRFM. They regale everything, the studio the whole night with me. Anyway. No, here is one now. You have some of them, man, through them in an age thing, in a religion, and them read both a man name and the Bible name Melchizedek, when either have mother and our father and our beginning of end of days. Them come with the same madness and craziness. I talk about Prince Emmanuel, neither have mother and our father and our beginning of end of days. That's why you can't tell me when no. That's why I'm vexed when I say I St. Elizabeth, Prince Emmanuel, man. And a whole heap of man out there vexed with me too, because them think the same way. Because that some people go tell them, say, hey, Prince Emmanuel, no mother and our father, Yeah, and you're not talking about that. When Prince Emmanuel passed away, the man them have him up at the hill, and I talk about him about raised from the dead, Yeah, you have some bubbles stand up at the hill, and I talk about Prince Emmanuel about raised from dead. See? And some sensible bubble.
I just like, yeah.
Just take him and say, no, what I deal with?
Some Christian, easy.
Them worse than Christian, Rasta. Worse than Christian. Worse than Christian. Them fundamentalists and fanatic till.
It's just like for the Christian, I really say, boy, a man come here one and hurt the father. I see him, so them say, and both a man dead. And he is what?
I can tell you something. A Bobo tell me, say, I made him catch up on the radio about it years ago, Him say, Haile Selassie make a private visit to Jamaica for come to Prince Emmanuel. Listen to me, if I could have find them tape that I played back, you know. Him say Haile Selassie make a private visit to Jamaica. I come in 1966. And him said, after that, Haile Selassie come make a private visit for visit Prince Emmanuel. And guess what him say? Him say Haile Selassie take a taxi from the airport to go up a Bobo Hill. And him serious too.
Yes.
The man say Haile Selassie take a taxi from the airport to go up a Bobo Hill. And me must sit down there so now and just go like say, what? Miracle. You know, Haile Selassie come and come check for Prince Emmanuel. Say, it's a private visit that the man tell me, you know. I mean, serious Bobo me I talk about, you know.
Yeah.
The man say, Haile Selassie come here and come from a taxi from the airport. Can never want nobody know Prince Emmanuel him come talk about.
Why don't you come to the airport, take a taxi?
Yeah, him say Haile Selassie take a taxi and come up Bobo Hill for come talk to Prince Emmanuel.
Big old empire.
Are the only man Haile Selassie do that with to show how Prince Emmanuel and Haile Selassie connected. I'm going to tell some youth that now, you know. Youth are going to tell that now, you know. We should tell them already, you know.
And them are all that time.
Oh, you mean, man? Then your man talk about Haile Selassie show up after that he had cut it 13 times before he jump a ground. You never hear them say that yet? You never hear that yet?
No, sorry, I could hear that.
Watch a man, you have some Rasta out there who spread the argument amongst you. Say, Haile Selassie is so great that him throw up a apple up in the air and cut it 13 times before he drop a ground. And that go round the place. And if you say foolishness, a man say, you're no Rasta. Because Haile Selassie can't do anything.
Yeah, but look here, you're doing more I think already, you know, before it's done Christian. She said when Selassie come at the airport, you know, and I look at Selassie, you know, I say that I never look at him at the time. And I say in my mind, I say, man, can't just look at him and just decide to read up here and make him see certain. And he said, she said that. He said, Selassie look for him. And hold up here and right in there, when you looking at Selassie and it's one nail printing.
No, Arita Mal, him say, Arita Mal, I know Judy, Arita Mal.
I think I Judy Mayer.
No, I know Judy, Arita Mal, he said, say, the nail mark in a Haile Selassie hand when him come here, Arita Mal, he say it.
I Jesus thing that.
Let me show you, say the man, them come back and see him Jesus thing where we supposed to left, bro. Them a turn Haile Selassie in Jesus and all them something there.
All them fools.
You know, Jesus Christ and, you know, them, after we supposed to left that. Yeah. You know, if I tell you some things of me hear what a man says, man, believe you me, man. If I tell you some things right here, so what a man say.
Yeah, laughing here, man. This is quite humorous.
You see, I tell them, say, don't go so. They run you from here so to Timbuktu. But I tell you what, then your man sings the lion crowning. You know what you song there? You ever hear that song there?
Yes.
You ever hear the tune where Burden Spirit sing and say the lion crown him?
Oh, man.
In other words, a whole heap of man say, is a lion put the crown on Haile Selassie head.
Yes.
You never hear that yet? Yeah, man, you have a whole heap of man tell people that man says a lion put the crown on Haile Selassie. That a man immortalize it and put it in a song.
A man believe it.
Oh, you mean if a man believe? The man they will kill you for that if you say no go so. You have man, you say all brother they know. The amount that things them have in him are against me, you know. You would have never believe it. Yeah, man. Him have me up now from here. So I mean heavy too, you know. Me heavy, you know. And him have me up in him heart now. Mind your heart, brethren. Me too heavy for that.
I can't have it, man. I have love, man.
Anyway, what will I say? Different, you know. Me could let him go.
Let him go and go find something. We going to play Zara Foot. You know what year?
Yeah.
Yes, Muta. We call an upright conversation. I read everything and listen, kill the man I say. I just hear you declare say you have a picture of His Majesty and Prince Emmanuel in your house. Every Rasta man should have that.
No, I never said Rasta man should have. I said every Rasta man have it.
This one I say, brethren, and they respond. And
are you again?
Yeah,
okay.
We say, well, you should have answered the data and say, right? That photograph is April, the 24th of April 1966, when His Majesty come down here and meet, give Rastafari the Imperial Lion of Judah insignia, golden medallion. And that you should have tell her. You should not tell her about how many, listen, man, and they talk. You should not tell her, say, how many people and Selassie Sheikh. And that may I show you. So you
then what if people and Selassie Sheikh?
Swing your singer.
So it's not a whole for people. It's not a Prince Emmanuel and Sheikh.
You're going to get attacked, Bridget.
No, may I ask you, if it's only Prince Emmanuel one and Sheikh.
Let me answer your question.
No, but you talk too long, you want to
hear the back of the mic, you know. So to hear the back of the mic, you can't chat up any little folly.
All right, talk.
So me say, when you should show the data, say, see, you should not tell her about how many and His Majesty Sheikh. Can anybody actually ask you? Simple. You should have shown her say that photograph is 1966 when His Majesty come down here and give Rastafari the Imperial Lion of Judah insignia, golden medallion. And that you should have tell her.
All right,
you swing the data.
Yeah.
You know, see,
all right, so tell me now about the other part now.
When I tell a man, you know, soon come to that.
But you want to talk about the same Sheikh and the whole time? You know, say the Sheikh already.
Me not take up no time. Because you're the back of the mic and appear like a fall in the area.
All right, talk.
So I say, why you never show her that? And you have the pitch down in your house.
All right, listen to me now. You label the point already now. We could come off of that.
So
because I'm sure. You're not coming off
why you never tell her that?
Why? You know I don't know why I never tell her. I just tell her what I say. I say, I will come and
you know what is that insignia? Listen me. You know
come on, you're not spend the whole time I talk about that. Tell me when Prince Emmanuel born. Tell me when Prince Emmanuel born.
I struggle Prince Emmanuel and in foundation.
Where Prince Emmanuel born? Which part in born?
Listen, man.
Yeah.
When I tell all of the motor and all this man I said, then you respond. That's a reason go. Me say, why you know who received an insignia? Answer no? You know an answer.
No, you really want me to answer something?
Yeah, I'm going to ask you.
So you're not answer when I ask you. You're not answer when I ask you.
Go on, all right. Go on, ask me what I ask, and then you come back. You come forward to me.
All right. All right. May I ask you, what year did Prince Emmanuel born? Where him born? And what was his mother's name?
All right. Listen me carefully.
Yeah.
And the world of people listen. Prince Emmanuel teach I and I. Say him come down here at a little youth, and then find him down at St. Elizabeth at Treasure Beach. That's how him teach I and I. And he grew up as a little youth, and when he grew up, he come into Kingston and start the mission of Rastafari. So that, I'm not going to ask you back a question now.
No, you answer the trade. No, you never answer me. Me didn't say I said to Elizabeth him come with them. Me say, according to the thing when me get. No, listen to what I say now.
You know, I tell about no band thing.
Oh, so you know what? But that is that about. But it's band, is that about.
This one I said, are you talking about band? Are you talking about saying back here get that information? I never tell you that.
No, you not tell me never get information. So wait there. So you never tell me never get information.
But here me I give you something, you know.
What year did Prince Emmanuel born? No, but what year did Prince Emmanuel born? What year did Prince Emmanuel born? What year did Prince Emmanuel born?
Prince, you not listen me. You are saying what year the man born?
And that's the question when the daughter asked me, I put power to you.
Yeah, but you say you find information.
Yes.
When him born. So me ask you where you get
so you tell me now if my information wrong. You tell me when it is.
So all you publish wrong on the radio.
Because I am
big fan that pick up.
All right, you tell me. All right, wrong. So you tell me the right thing. You tell me the right thing.
You know, me just tell a little while the Prince Emmanuel show and I say.
No, tell me when him born. What year him born? What year him born?
As a little youth.
Tell me what year Prince Emmanuel born.
Born in Jamaica.
No, tell me what year Prince Emmanuel born. Since you say I wrong, you tell me what year. What is it, brother, man? Where you come from, Mutabaruka?
You propaganda about Prince Emmanuel dead up the 3 days. A man has sitting about one bed. He's a little judgment struggler.
And my brethren, you me tell you, who take him from up there?
I'm Prince Emmanuel repeating. If the kings of kings from Africa can come and go honor the elders, them and give them a...
What year did Prince Emmanuel born and what was the name of his mother? What year did Prince Emmanuel born and what was the name of his mother?
The man teacher said, no, the mother, no father. No
I like that, man. Both the man say, no mother and father.
You not listen to me?
Both the no mother and father. And you believe that? You believe that, right? You believe that, don't it? You believe that? You believe, say, Prince Emmanuel have no mother. The same thing I tell the people there. They don't know say you're one of them, man. You know say you're one of them, man. You're one of them you talk damn foolishness. Don't tell me no foolishness. You're telling the people them damn foolishness. You're telling the people them damn foolishness. But Prince Emmanuel have no mother or father. It's foolishness. It's rubbish that talk. Rubbish that talk. I'm not listening nothing. I'm not listening nothing to go about you. Go ahead. Very ironical. That virgin.
Yes, Rastafari. Very interesting discussion there. Just let me light my chalice and come, please. Nice high grade, eh? Nice good grade that was. Hey Melody, of course, courtesy the Royal Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress Church of True Divine Salvation, and brought to us, of course, courtesy again of Sky Media RAS Extra. All right, as we go into the realms of meditation here. Yeah, nice job, the chalice. And even before we go into this, as I even mentioned, the upcoming Lenten pea bread and everything, you definitely need to get your chalwa, you definitely need to get your chalice. And for sure, as I said, even in a previous program, we would have to go a little more detail into it. But these chalice, of course, we would ship them internationally. And for sure, we'll be using the international shipping agencies, the FedEx and the DHL. That is what's available here. We are extremely skeptical of the regular mailing system. We even skeptical of them system too. Yeah, for real, straight up. But the chalice specifically, you get there made from the coconut, made by Brother Medi. These are the Medi chalices made by Brother Medi, Rastafari right here in Antigua. The full package. He does not make the kachi. The kachi is prepared by the sisters that deal with the clay works here in Antigua. So It's two aspects of the apparatus that you have to get. That's our culture. One man make the chalice and you get the kutchi somewhere else. We're going to be doing a whole program on the chalice too, as we, definitely promote this product. So you need your chalice, my brothers and sisters, because people have been asking. We don't make chalices, but Brother Mehdi is a master at the preparation of the chalice. So you could definitely get your chalices from us. They would be shipped to you internationally. The chalice itself is $70, the full package. The shipping would definitely depend on where you are. And of course, you know how to contact me specifically. That's Priest Isaac, PRIEST 27 at gmail.com. And we work it out, get 1, 2, 3 for the family, whatever the case is. You get your chalices, even specifically, for, as I said, even into this Lenten time. But yeah, that reasoning and that discussion there a moment ago, now, very, very interesting, so basically they went into a few things, Brother Mutabaruka doing his program. Apparently there was a program before that, I didn't hear that, where a sister asked about the birthday of Prince Emmanuel, the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, and Brother Mutabaruka, like basically almost everybody else, didn't have an answer for that, and said to her, well, he'll ask above Ashanti, at least this is what he's saying. Somehow the picture came up with Haile Selassie and the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards when they met in King's House. As you know, you see it on the video as well in Jamaica when the Rastafari delegation came and they greeted Emperor Haile Selassie I, and they received the gold medals. And apparently Brother Mutabaruka made a statement that, well, it wasn't, Haile Selassie did not shake, he shook many people hands. Well, to be honest, when I heard that first, and maybe I went wrong, but maybe that's not what the reality was. But when I heard that first, I thought maybe Mutabaruka was saying that, listen, it's not Prince Emmanuel alone amongst Rastafari that Haile Selassie greeted or gave a gold medal, etc. Because to be honest, even me myself, I just pull that point sometimes, before we get too romantic in specific points, because it is the truth. There were 31 heads of Rastafari. I always hear about this 15 group and 14 group, but at that time there were 31 heads. I guess maybe a few members were part of the same group, what have you, but there were 31 heads of Rastafari there, of which the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards was the first to receive, his medal and to greet the emperor, because as far as the video that we would see, it was like a double greeting. It was the initial shaking and official greeting of the King of Kings, shaking the hand of the King of Kings, and there was also the taking of the literal medal from the emperor himself as well. So that's and the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, as we said, historically speaking, especially because many people like to talk about who was the first and who was the first. I personally not running no first thing, but since first seems to be a big thing, he was the first to greet the emperor and was the first, to get that medal, just like he was the first, Nyabingi, 1958. But as I said, me personally, I don't really run the first show, but since a lot of people seem to make that a very important thing. So the brethren calling now, I'm not familiar with the voice, I can't say who it is. He said that he got specific information at the latter part of the conversation. When he called back, he said that the Honorable King Emmanuel told him, what he was telling Mutabaruka at the time. So you get the impression that it is a Bobo Shanti speaking. And as I say, you get the high impression that it's a Bobo Shanti speaking. I don't think he actually declared himself as that. He was asked if he was that. And he said, we don't reach there yet. but of course, as I said, he said he got it from him. But I mean, there are many people that got many things from King Emmanuel, Charles Edwards, and they're not Bobo Shanti, and they would even defend him to the very death, that not their death are talking about. So I wouldn't just put my neck on the block to jump and say, and he was a Bobo Shanti. More than likely it would be, but because I can't even identify the voice in my discussion, I'm just going to say, and the brother, and I hope I'm not disrespecting him. It could be a priest too. I'm not sure. But I'm not just going to say because he got some information from King Emmanuel. King Emmanuel was not exclusive to Bobo Shanti alone. And as I said again, he was asked if he was, and he declined to answer that at that point. I guess maybe, discussion carry on. You could talk for hours, and maybe that never came to fruition as it relates to that discussion there. So he came in now, the brethren, and he was saying, well, listen, man, and I just kind of reenacting it, so no disrespect to no one if this was not the exact words, etc., etc. So he was saying, man, listen, where deal with, man? I mean, the daughter talked to you and asked you about the picture. You should tell her that it was the 21st of April. I think he said 24th, eh? But anyway, the 21st of April, 1966, that's when the king and to be honest, now that's another thing. The picture that we see is the 22nd of April. It's actually about 12:45 in the afternoon. It was a Saturday. The emperor came the 21st, but the literal meeting was the next day, the 22nd. So when I think I heard him say the 24th, I think he said it more than once too. So I was kind of, because I think the emperor flew out by the 23rd or thereabout. So about that time the emperor was flying out of 24th, flying out of Jamaica. So that would be the case as it relates to that there. So he was saying, listen, but you should have told her that was the date. And Muta was saying, well, yeah, the king shake many people's hand, which is true, but I think the brother was saying that, man, you have to respect the elders. But let me say this before I even continue. At the end of their conversation, and that was during the second round, the brother clearly said something that I don't think he just came to that opinion while he was on the phone. I think this is something that he had in mind. He said that, I think it's the CIA, he said, was paid Muta to hold down Bobo Shanti. This whole man saying it. And if it's not CIA, he says somebody, but that's the point he was making, that Muta is working for some other cause to keep down Bobo Shanti and maybe to keep down Rasta in general. And he was like a propagandist. It's pure propaganda that he coming out with. He said that at the end. And I honestly don't believe that he would have just come to that conclusion because of that discussion, meaning that he had that on his mind from before. You check it. Yeah, man, I hear man call Mutabaruka, Mutabaruka. I hear them things, it is. And one thing, I can never, I personally can never find myself painting those kind of pictures of a person just because they have a different opinion to what I have. Because a person would actually believe that listen, man, you come around this thing long enough, you're supposed to know the truth. That's why sometimes you like to go around ones that are not exactly you. But somehow they believe that because you're coming around, mean that you see the light somehow. And you've been coming for months and you still be the same old you. Now, people that think so. No, I come around because I'm a balanced person and I can deal with ones and ones. So it's not in me to be upset with a person, even if they're very zealous. So maybe Mutabaruka, because he's a zealous person. He's always on the ear. So he has an opportunity, unlike many, to constantly share his opinion and share it in the ears of many as well. That's one of the reasons. And of course, you see, he's kind of outspoken. No matter what he's talking about, he has this sound. He just he has this commanding sound and this You don't know where he going with this conversation sound, you know, so it could be a bit threatening as well, just the way he sound and how he put across his point and everything. So I could imagine psychologically he could be intimidated straight if you study psychology, and ones maybe just don't like that, and especially if he's hardcore on what he believes. See, like how he was going in a while ago. You hear how he talking about, you know what I mean? It's idiot thing that. Them is idiot. Idiot. Man saying Emmanuel is Melchizedek and he don't have no mother and no father. Idiot thing that. So, wow. So now if you one of them man that he talking about, yeah. And the Melchizedek thing. They read about Melchizedek in the Bible. The one thing I listen keenly. So they read about Melchizedek in the Bible. And Melchizedek don't have no mother and no father. And they take the same. Now you see, I don't want to paraphrase, but I ain't going back. If you don't have the exact words, I know I'm not off. I think he said they take the same either idiot thing or saying stupidness and bring it in, like, for example, the real world and promote it. Now you see just that statement alone, I'm telling you, I'm disrespecting nobody, but you see amongst the intellects, man have to be a little more careful with how they speak of ancient science. Even my Lord Mutabaruka, because I'm telling you, the concept of Melchizedek having no mother and father ain't no idiot nothing. Them is deep, deep, deep science. If you do not understand it, leave it alone. Trust me. I'm not afraid to say so, because I see it all the time. For many people, they do have intelligence, you know, and they have a lot of knowledge, and all due respect to them. But they have certain levels that they really do not understand, and they spit on it, but not when I'm around. The science. I'm not saying King Emmanuel don't have a father, and I'm definitely not saying I don't have a mother. I'll get to that. What I'm saying, if you're talking about the concept of Melchizedek without mother and father, them is ancient concepts of esoteric levels. Do not consider it stupidness, an idiot thing. Separate it from what's going on in the terrestrial world. You understand? And man's own romantic, fanciful thoughts. It's two different things. I see it all the time from many, many, many ones. I'm not speaking specifically of the elder. Mutabaruka I talking about. That's our elder, eh? And he don't know enough respect. But I see it all the time across the board. And I believe it's because a lot of ones are zealous of their opinion. So that's why it comes out so sometimes. One's got to take their time. So Melchizedek, without father and without mother. Now you see, this is interesting now. Although, for example, the good brother, Mutabaruka, has not necessarily, it would appear, done that much research on the nativity of Prince Emmanuel Charles Edwards. But what's interesting, you know, I made a point the other day as it relates to 1994, 31st of May, when the Honorable King Emmanuel departed from us. It's referred to as many different things. One referred to it as when he dropped the structure, transcend, many different things, but you know what we're talking about. And I brought into the discussion, you know, just the whole science of, in reality, because Mutabaruka was mentioning that a moment ago too, eh? You hear Muta saying that, listen, and that's a very important point. He was saying that, listen, man, they had the body up there for 3 days and it started to stink, and some sensible bubble had to come and tell, man, what y'all dealing with. Remember, we had a whole interview with Priest Doggy. And I mean, there's certain things one should not hide from. I think there was a level of that. Now, the brethren that was speaking to him, the way he came back at that comment was as if he flatly denied that. He just totally flatly denied that, like nothing got so totally like that's just totally. I don't know if it was just because of his emotions towards Brother Mutabaruka, why that was said so, or maybe I don't know, I really don't know. But from my understanding, there's some level of truth to that. I think even Bobo Shanti admit that. I don't think that's why when we speak of certain things, one's believe, well, you know, you should be talking about that. Because of that mentality, they're straight up. And if it's just the truth, it's the truth. I really can't understand them levels. We got to get out of the religious way of thinking for real. I agree with what the brother's saying with that. I could see he too, that's Mutabaruka now. I could see him too in his passion against the religious mindset. Because I listen good, Charles, we born in and taking it in. Against the religious mindset, which I do agree exists terrible. And you know, but listen, we ironing out this, man. You don't know. We get into a point that we siphon everything out from what has been said. But no, hear me, please, hear me. Hear me good. Priest Doggy talk about them taking King Emmanuel to, well, at least let's say the structure, to the hospital and then to the morgue. I spoke about this. We have ones that sit with us, we do interview. We don't go through that. We've been talking about this for several years, especially around, you know, the time of Lent and so on, and all of these things. And, you know, my children have a good understanding of these things. You can't bring youths into this order and hide them little things from them, like if making up some spooky story, some spooky Scooby-Doo story, and feeding that to your children. Yo, that's why I'm a journalist in this. That's why I like facts. Don't make up nothing for me. Do not add to it. So I'm to talk about they cut the apple into 13 pieces. Well, I'm going to tell you the truth. Whether it's true or not, I honestly always believe that to be true. Up to now, I mean, it may sound terrible, but listen. Let me tell you about Haile Selassie. Okay, let me put it this way. If somebody can, and I see people do all sorts of tricks. So if somebody can throw an apple up in the air and cut it into 13 pieces, Haile Selassie can do it. He was a master swordsman. What do you call that sword game there? Jousting, them things there. Fencing, my love. If that's fencing. Yeah, fencing, right. That's not the tennis thing. No, that's badminton. Yeah, you're right, man. Bless her, priest. Daughter, now she saying, Honorable Princess, give time. Fencing. So if somebody can do that, I mean, Muta put it in a mystic light, Mutabaruka. I've heard someone's denounce it before. I always believe it. Coming up as Ras, because we used to see this in the Jahab book. And they said the man come and chop his apple and cut it into the Englishman. And the king just drove his apple and cut it in 30. And one stick on the sword. And 12 drop on the ground. I never doubted that. Never doubted that. I wouldn't say I doubt it, because I honestly still believe it. I mean, if I'm wrong, as they say, well, so, but I still believe it. But I started to consider it when I hear people like Mutabaruka bring it up like that. I say, oh, yeah. And you know why too? I'm going to tell you why. Because there are other things, I would admit, that I think we have colored up. We kind of put a little, add some salt to it or some sugar or something. Things that we don't have to. That thing he said about Burning Spear and the Lion Crown the King. Well, he may know Burning Spear more than me. I never met Burning Spear. I know the song he's talking about. I don't think Burning Spear actually meant that the lion roar, take a crown and put it on the king's head. If that's what Burning Spear meant, well, Mr. Spear, yeah. I don't think so. I think Mr. Brother Mutabaruka may have kind of, well, as I say, he know the man more than me. I sure he and the man recording studio together. So who am I to say? You know what I mean? As they like to say around here, are you a doctor? yeah. So you go, sometimes you back out of, even if you know the truth, you back out because people don't want to see your credentials. Which school did you go? You know. Anyway, so I'm just showing you that, yeah, the lion wear the crown thing, and or the lion, even not lion wear the crown. I mean, it's symbolism, really. So there's aspects of symbolism that does exist amongst us, and that's one of the things that we have lost, that science of even symbolism. So as I said now, King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, I found it real mystic. Remember they say when they carry him to the hospital, they say that his pulse was still beating. We went into that scientifically. We already showed that, to be honest, that's not even impossible, depending on the kind of dynamo that the person that has passed on. You know, we tried to show, a lot of things about King Emmanuel, which is mystic. Not no makeup thing, mystic. To be honest, you could see it even in other mystic people. That's just true. But they have some more mystic than some. That's the truth. That's the point. I want you all to stay with me and listen to me good. This is a very important discussion. All right. So to say that the man passed on, and after 3 days you say, well, man, let's carry him and see what's going on. And the guy have to go through that. They pronounce him dead. But his pulse still beating. Okay. You go to the morgue. Same little vibes go on. Now you know the mystic thing is, they carry him back to Bobo Hill, even couple days. The African priest Zebulon had to take care of the body and do all kind of different things and wrap it up a kind of way. Oh man. But what is my main point? You take a body, this is a dead body, man, and carry this to a hospital, carry this to a morgue, and then carry that back home. And my point was, when I was speaking about this, which civilized country would allow you to do that? You can't see something mystic here. That you're going to take the dead from a morgue, even if you cannot pay. And as Mutabaruka said, some sensible bubble came. It's true, man had money to do that. Man had money, it wasn't a poor man business going on here. The dead, burying the dead ain't no big problem in it, man. Yo, y'all miss what's going on here. Y'all miss it, man. That's why sometimes we don't even like to talk about certain things. You ever bury anybody and see whirlwind come out of the hole that you bury for them? You ever see anything like that? And darken the whole sky? And people that video in the event, say when the thing done, the video blank. Everybody have to close their eyes. People smelling the person that you're burying. You ever hear them things? Well, if you haven't heard them things, you have to go talk to some of your ancestors and those that's still alive in Africa, because them things do happen with other spiritual people. It ain't no Scooby-Doo business. It's just powers. Whether you believe he's the Black Christ and Melchizedek thing, whether you believe that or not, I'm telling you, that's a being that you can't even compare yourself to. Straight. Man need to be careful how they talk about King Emmanuel. I'm telling man straight, you just gotta be careful. You well, talk then. You say what you want to say. I'm not the person that controls your soul. But you better be careful. Don't take Prince Emmanuel like no a jokey thing. Nah, man, and I find it happen too much. Yeah, man, we come for your head. Don't be playing around. We don't even care who you are. Just be careful how you're talking. I mean, yeah, and let me be clear here. I'm not specifically speaking of the Honorable Mutabaruka at all, as far as that at all. Let me be clear. In fact, maybe I should have made that a forefront statement before I even got into this, because I know when I talk, I just throw sparks, not even sparks. Yeah, man, fireworks, any direction. I'm telling you, when we defending the king, we ain't got time to be looking left or right. We even deal with ourselves too. So if we can deal with ourselves, burn ourselves, I don't think there's anybody else that's gonna get away. So let me be clear, we have the highest respect for Brother Mutabaruka. And the statements I'm making is not necessarily towards him. And let me be very, very clear about that for sure. That is my elder, one of our elders. And in fact, I think that his thought waves, and this is to the dismay of many people too, I think the way that he thinks, his direct philosophy, even on Rastafari and different things, is very progressive. That is my opinion. I mean, that don't mean I'm totally in agreement with maybe everything he said for sure, but who's in agreement with everything I say? I mean, I'm not in this, how much thing I agree with and how much I don't agree with. You know what I mean? I find the man as a very positive Rastafari. Even conceptual. I think me personally, one must not lose sight of the supreme divinity of Haile Selassie I. I think that's the kind of thing that I find many ones drifting away with. And because of too much knowledge, it seems like we want to balance ourselves with the emperor. Not me. You can balance off yourself if you want to. Not me. Nah, man. There's no being at all that trod and walk, whether they're visible or invisible. I'm telling you, listen to me. There's no being visible or invisible that higher than Haile Selassie. And you may say, boy, you know what I mean? What about the God you can't see? Well, listen, if there's a God you can't see that higher than Selassie, well, that means he's the God you can't see that became the God you can see. That's all, just not to get the thing complicated. I mean, His Majesty was born 1892, man. You check it. What was going on before he was born? Let's not get spooky. This is not the Scooby-Doo show. This is real radio. The shock of the hour. If you're not a subscriber, I don't know what is wrong with you. Hey, no offense, man. I'm just keeping a joy. I don't mean that in no way. Yeah, really, honestly, I do not mean that in any way. It's just a joy of keeping with you. But yeah, so we look at things realistically, but we understand there's a spiritual realms. There's a spiritual realm. So you can say the king said this all day long. Oh, the kings ain't not the worship here, man. Yeah, why? Because there's a higher being than the emperor. Yeah, there's a higher being than the emperor. But the higher being than the emperor is the same emperor in the higher state. Listen. We've done classes on that, One should go forward and check some of those videos we've done on YouTube. This is a nice program. I'm full enjoying this, the discussion, because it's needed when it comes to these realms. You hear how Brother Mutabaruka say, and making a well, I have to make it about the brother too, because he was kind of like the spice of the program. He said the brethren came. You see that program there now with Mutabaruka in 1994, and that he didn't give the date, but that's when it was. You see that program there? Mutabaruka didn't give the date a moment ago, but we coming back still. In fact, no, hold on. There's plenty of things we have to say. Hold on, I'm coming back to that program. Remind me. This big man, this big here, this discussion serious. You see, what I was saying now, the mystics behind how King Emmanuel leave the scene. Even the 10th of December, one's amongst I as Bobo Shanti too, who like to run from the voodoo tradition talking. You killing goats and chickens is voodoo that. The people them are calling to, and I say I stop calling him, you know, I really started, but according to what the Honorable Priest Morgan tell me again, and he said it on a radio program with me, so I think it can be repeated. He said, well, although I don't think he was there, but when they went to buy the cocks and the goat, the woman that sell them, he said that was like a place deep in Jamaica. And Jamaica is a mystic kind of place. Enough kind of people live there. He said the woman that sell them the cocks and the goats, is King Emmanuel send them to this specific place, in a place man never go. I don't even know, remember the name of the place. Deep. And I know there's Bobo Shanti that would even be listening to this that say, well, listen, I'm the man that gone and buy the cock and the goat. Priest Ian, if I'm not mistaken, is the man that killed the goat. Yeah, 10th of December feast. 10th of December, the rising of the constellation of Orion. In the Sumerian tablets, the 10th of December is known as the day of the rising of the shepherd of Anu, and the twins, the 10th of December, are also designated as Human Rights Day, the 10th of December. Bobo Shanti considered that, and that's just since 1993. Bobo Shanti considered that the feast of the Passover, when King Emmanuel said that he making a move. I'm saying all of this in a nutshell. The 10th of December, a goat and cocks were killed. You hear me? So when anybody tell you, yeah man, Bobo kill goat and chicken and stuff there already, man. No, so you want young ones, don't be quick to say no. It's true, something goes up. Something goes up. You didn't hear what Priest Dougie say? They light a fire, 4 fires around the 4 corners of when that we did that, when Mandela came out of it, I can't remember which one, but 3 months firelight around the 4 corners of Bobo Shanti Hill, burning, Naya Bingi non-stop. Yeah, man, them is real African hot ground tradition. The goats and the chicken, man have to admit that is voodoo tradition, and listen to the mystic, the people that sell, who obviously they into something, the people that sell the bubble, them say, who is going to die? Man, flesh come and flesh go. For me can put away the spookism, you can see that God was amongst us. Prince Emmanuel, I target. Now tell me now. All right. So Mutabaruka now, I still, I come into Mutabaruka, 1994, and the show he had with the Bobo Shanti. Okay, it was 1994 he had that show. It was for the 7th of January. It was for the Christmas. That's the same year the Black Christ make the movie. You see? So Mutabaruka is so prophetic in Bobo Shanti's popularity, even in Jamaica. Just a few months. So when Mutabaruka had his program, the feast of the Passover had just passed, 10th of December. Hear me. Nobody tell me this is we sit and work this out. The feast of the Passover just passed. That program he talking about, I had that cassette. I got that from the Honorable Prophet Shakwan. I received that in 1996. That was just 2 years after that program. I would listen that I could repeat the whole show, at least the parts I had. It was 3 hours, but it's about 1.5 hours. When all of them introduced themselves. Honorable Priest Courtney, Honorable Priest Earl, the Honorable Priest Virgo. Just so he said it, stammering voice. And some honorable priests coming down the line. And that cassette would inspire me as a young youth just coming into Rastafari. It was a blue cassette, and I would listen that over and over and over. Mutabaruka. I remember Mutabaruka say, and King Emmanuel, I see a picture they say, yeah man, I see a picture of King Emmanuel and and Haile Selassie in King's house. Let me say, any man that stand up with black supremacy, I deal with him. That's what Mutabaruka saying that interview. Any man that stand up with black supremacy, I deal with him. Yeah. Although when the emperor, he said, no, he would move to say that King Emmanuel was so joyous. That's how Jah moved. And he contacted Muta and give thanks. And Muta said, but wait a woman them and say, yeah. And just send all the empresses. Now that was not a staple for me, but I've seen that video. You see Empress Rachel, I think Empress Empress that passed on, Julie, and some other empresses. That was a video now you could see when they came into the studio. I remember that video. And how interesting this is. All of this took place. Both priests and prophets and the empresses on the IRFM cutting edge. Boss Mutabaruka too. Is we boss Muta said it to us. Muta is already a star. We know that. But that we boss him on the next level. As he assists man too. Boss said if you want to call it that. But we boss long time, man. We boss the first baby. But I'm just showing you how everything is in cooperation. Because it's one spirit. It's a love, you know. Jah is love. You see how Jah deal with Mutabaruka. He contacted him with love. And he could see Muta have respect for that love. Or at least I should say, he see the respect that Jah give to him in love. That's King Emmanuel I'm talking about. So he know within himself now as man. He know in man that that's a respectable man to be respected. He know that. He know that. So just to show you how integral he is, even in that time, and it's in May, that same year, 1994, the 31st, that King Emmanuel moved from that structure there, straight up, same year. So that program, those programs happened in between the feast of the Passover, when the man say he having a feast, because he gonna make a move, goat and chicken, don't run from it, and when he actually make the move. In between, the 7th of January. The 7th of January. That program was for when? The 7th of January. You hear what Mood asking? When Prince Emmanuel born. That's what we do here, you know. We unravel the mysteries, and I keep saying it. I blow trumpet. You say, don't blow your own trumpet. If you know, listen, if you don't blow a trumpet, right? Your trumpet gonna get rusty. We blow trumpets around here. Da-da-da-da-da-da. We unravel the mysteries, not just biblical mysteries, not just the stars, what's going on right in front of our eyes. This, you look, can you upset now? I get into the, I'm not afraid to tell anybody. I was crowned on the 31st of May. You hear me? That's exactly to the very day, exactly 7 years to the day, 2001. You hear me say the day, not the day before, not the day after, to the very, very day that King Emmanuel moved from that structure there. I was crowned that day. It wasn't planned, sir. At least I didn't plan it, sir. The day, the very day. And I was crowned inside of his living room the same day. Me alone get crowned. Didn't get crowned with nobody else. Me one. It can't happen again, you know. The 7th year to the day. So if you were celebrating, as some people celebrate when people pass on, that would be the 7th year. The day would have been an anniversary of the 7th. And that's the day me was get crowned, me right there in his house, personally. His grandson, Jesse, was sitting down. I don't even know how old he was, like it was 3 or 4. Came out when I was getting crowned. Priest Zebulon was wrapping my turban, and Priest Morgan read 2 Psalms. I didn't get crowned with Psalms 23. I get crowned with Psalms 133. Hear that? 133, what the other one was?
Psalms 22nd.
Psalms 22. Them is the Psalms I get crowned with. No, that was mystic. Because when you check it now, that vibration, Psalm 21 and Psalms 133. But when you check the mystic now, his grandson, when he came out, as Jesus' son, and he didn't have on a turban, and he went into his room and came out and wrapped his turban while I was getting crowned. But the point I'm making is that can't just be by no chance. I mean, come on, let's hold some breaks. That cannot be by chance. That is the 7th year on the very day, the day, in his palace. Interesting Psalms too. Everybody else gets Psalms 23. And it wasn't as if it's a rookie priest crowning me, like if that man don't know what they're doing. So they had to know. This priest Morgan himself again, I read them Psalms there. You know what I mean? You know, I asked him about that after years. Because I mean, I was young, so I think that's the Psalms. And I used to tell people, yeah, I get crowned under them Psalms. People say, no, man, something, 23 and 23. And I witness everybody get crowned Psalm 23. So when I really get a chance to talk to Priest Morgan again, and that's like 2000 and, when you born again? 7. So we're talking about like maybe 2009, 10. I think it's laugh or something, you know. But I have several ones that, and they tell me, yeah, man, you could do it under them Psalms too, but them is like ancient, like it's an ancient crowning again. That man don't deal with no more. I'm telling you, like an ancient crowning again. So I find all that mystic. And I'm just saying that just to be, if you want to say, the spirit that I have, the spirit I carry. And again, there's a prophecy amongst Bobo Shanti that a man going to come that can read the stars. I'm going to say it in all humility. I actually see that is me. So, and things like how I just put that little equation there to you. So again, we can do this real time. And I'm not saying none of this to paint no colors on me. I'm actually coming back again to show you that it's not by mistake that Mutabaruka entertained the whole Bobo Shanti priesthood and prophethood for the Christ Mass, the Earth Day of Christ. It's not by mistake that the empresses came back and full the studio again, both full balance, and then the Black Christ move on. And then the thing just starts sparking. And whether you like it or not, ones like Capleton, who Capleton, even that time, no, it was around the same time that Capleton came and visited King Emmanuel. And I must say, you know, I always say it, some people say, well, they don't see it the same way, but when Capleton's album came out, Prophecy, remember all of that time King Emmanuel done make that movie? And I could imagine the energy that was in the air. Because 1994, and when Prophecy came out, I think maybe 1995. But Capleton met King Emmanuel, even in his transition. There's a picture I had. I see it up Bubble Hill, and I got it and made a guidance out of it, but I kind of cut out the Capleton part. It's a nice picture of King Emmanuel, man, in his shirt and pants with a red turban, man, the turban high, and he laughing there. Priest Morgan was behind of King Emmanuel. The three of them in that picture. Capleton with some little picky locks. And if you check the Prophecy album, remember how Capleton said it? Emmanuel live it every time. I remember that was a mystic thing, eh? Because a lot of one will say, oh, well, Emmanuel gone now, man. How they had them say Emmanuel is Christ, he can rise back up. And you don't know, man, Mackin Bobo. Capleton still, Emmanuel live it there. Capleton take over the whole reggae scene. You understand? And then Sizzler coming after. You check it. And Sizzler, a lot of ones rise from Sizzler. I will admit that when Capleton came out with Prophecy, I did not hold on to the Bobo Shanti concept as yet. In fact, at that time, Garnet Silk was very strong too. You know, in fact, Rastafari itself was something that I was strongly think that's my time there. Remember, it's 96. I hold on to this faith there. But as Bobo Shanti is when I see people like Sizzla and Anthony B and so that wave, I was already King Emmanuel, Charles Edwards. Because for me, I say the emperor, ain't nothing to it was no long time before man say, listen, it's King Emmanuel said word and put everything together and Sabbath keeping and all of that. As I said, that same cassette from Mutabaruka and the Bobo Shanti them was very, 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 very instrumental, even in my coming in. So it is something that I could definitely, speak about. That same 31st day of May now, according to the book that the good sister, the Empress, wrote. The name of the book again, the Seven Reveal, I think. The Black Christ Seven Reveal, I think that's the name of the book. So some people consider the 31st of May to be the Earth Day of the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. There's, if I'm not mistaken, this is something that his son, that's the Honorable Priest Jesus, also subscribes to, or subscribes to, or whatever the case is, prescribed to. Which one of them scribe it is? But definitely, Jesus would agree with that. In fact, there's a video that you see on YouTube with Priest Jesus and looks like some family members. I see the Honorable Priest Merle in it, Honorable Priest Jermaine, Jakasha in it as well. And it says they're celebrating the earth light of the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. Now listen, I mean, I really can't defend or say anything on these points because a lot of ones disagree with that in the Bobo Shanti order. I've never heard one speak of a birthday of King Emmanuel. It's only since the advent of the book that 31st of May has become knowledge to me, straight up. I found it interesting that that's the same day that the man make a move, the same 31st of May. That is why I would even consider all of that, because according to the prophecy, he shall, exactly 80 years he shall be amongst us. That's the prophecy, exactly 80 years. Now he said, as far as the birthday thing, from my understanding, just like the brethren said here in the thing with Mutabaruka, King Emmanuel said he came in 1914/15. He came, that's what he said, came. I never heard he said he born. I hear people ask him when he was born, and he said he came. So 1914 to 1994 is really 80 years, 31st of May. So if it's the 31st of May 1914, he came to the 31st of May 1994. That is exactly 80 years. So maybe he did come on the 31st of May. But you see, to be honest, I always see, and this is no spookiness, King Emmanuel have a mother and King Emmanuel have a father. For straight up. I mean, I don't know anyone, ones do really have them strange mentality for sure. King Emmanuel have a mother. I don't think he come out of the sea. I don't think he come out of the breeze. I think he's a human being. I don't think he's Adam. He come out of the dust. He's a person. He's a human being, man, with a DNA and a bloodline, just like when you have children. That's like saying Jesus ain't really got no lineage to talk about except, his mother and his father, Jesus Emmanuel Edwards. I talk, the son of the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. So I see. I mean, it's a mystery, and that's the point I was going to make now. Even to the good brother Mutabaruka and anyone else. Listen, this is me saying this. King Emmanuel has an ancestry. He does. I know that. But don't you find it interesting that even that is a mystery? Just hold on. Even the way he leaves the scene is a mystery, and he just don't leave the scene. It's just not a case like, hey, Emmanuel dead. Yeah, they say that, bam. But it was more than that. I mean, if you chronicle it properly, it was more than that. Am I correct? Right. No, this ain't got nothing to do with what they believe is black rights or nothing. We're dealing with facts. We are investigative reporters and we have done our investigation. A lot of our investigation has been done in the public that you have seen, our interviews and everything clear. The way King Emmanuel move off, you don't have to believe he's Christ. In fact, that's not what we're talking about. The way this man, this elder Rasta man, this very unique, special elder Rasta man that has done so much for this faith, the way he come off of the scene was very dynamic. Nobody, you don't have them kind of stories about nobody else. You ain't got them kind of dramatic story about nobody else. Hey, but I say when Bona G's talk sometimes thunder really rolling. I mean, not this ain't no competition thing. That's powers. Real powers. But I'm just showing you though how the man come off the scene. So couple that with how he come on the scene. You know, see how King Emmanuel come on the scene is mysterious. Whether you believe he have a mother or father, or mother and father or not, which I personally, I mean, not believe. I mean, come on, man. You know, real madness here. King Emmanuel have an ancestry. It's just mystic that's a mystery. It is a mystery. It being a mystery don't mean that he don't have an ancestry, but it's a mystery. You don't even know if he born in Jamaica. You don't know if he come from Africa. That ain't no impossible thing, brother. Come on, man. That's not impossible. For him to born in Africa and reach there as a child, that's not impossible. You know how long ago that be. You know what was going on in the world. You know how the world just today, today, go and look at your internet news and Google what the thing named Talica Whiskey, Atlantic Rowers. Just today, two brothers just came back like 2 hours ago, just came back to Antigua. They were sailing across the Atlantic for 40 something days, 46 days. They just came back today. What did you get? Today, in a little rowboat, sailing across the Atlantic. It's something they do every year. Not the same two people, but a lot of people, they come from all over the world and they sail here to the so-called historic, what the place name is, Shirley Heights or Nelson's Dockyard. Lord Admiral Horatio Nelson's Dockyard. Yeah. So every year, because you see the current brings the ships right here. So that's why this is such a key point. Every year, right here in Antigua, all these sailors. So people sail from all over the world and they sail right here. But for the last several years, Antigua itself have been sending in delegations. 1 year it was like about 4 elder men. 2 years ago it was 4 sisters. I'm sure you would have heard about the island girls. And this year it was 2 brothers. Today they just came in today, and I'm bringing that to show you. So it's not nothing strange for a person coming here as a little baby, especially in them kind of times. It's not just way out. I mean, you may or may not want to put your mind around that kind of thing, but those of us who know who Prince Emmanuel is, you understand. Those of us who understand that we're dealing with the Black Christ, we don't find it hard for certain things to be true. That's why some ones will run on some real fanciful stuff. But that is not off the table. Listen, let me say it one more time. You don't know where he come from. None of you know. You can't even tell me when he born. Nobody really know. You really don't know. You really don't know. Even when Honorable Priest Bailey was on Running African with the same sister, the good empress that wrote the book. I'm not saying he was disputing with her, but he kind of had a little different story of how King Emmanuel came. As if, the person that is considered his mother now was really, is fine. They find him on the beach. But then this other woman went to the beach that was pregnant, and then she disappeared. The woman that was pregnant that went to the beach disappeared. But when they went to look for the woman that was pregnant that disappeared, they didn't find her, but they find the baby. So, but that don't necessarily mean that the baby belonged to the woman. No, that's Priest Bailey I hear with that story there. and running African. If you go on YouTube and look for run, I like to show people where to get things. I don't want to be calling people name and nobody say, boy, running African. Prince Emmanuel. If you Google that YouTube, the whole interview will come up, and listen to it properly. So that's one version of the story of how King Emmanuel came. But the point is, hear my point, it's a mystery. And you have to respect the fact that it's a mystery. Mystery don't mean it's spooky. It just means that the reality of it, many people are maybe nobody understands. And that's to the credit of King Emmanuel, because his whole movement is just mystery. Check what I'm saying, man. Even the way he leave the scene is a mystery. This is why I'm against Rastafari concept. That's the Haile Selassie dead. To me, that's sick. I want to vomit when I hear them talk. I'm going to tell you why. Or even back off of the reality of Haile Selassie alive. I'm going to tell you why. Because to me, it's a shame. That's a next mystery. Look at them vibes there. Look at that. It's not just Haile Selassie disappeared. Enough people go missing. People go missing every day. People go missing every day. Listen to me. We're going to end now. We're done. We're done. We ending the program. People, we're sealing the program for tonight. Not yet. We're sealing it for tonight. People go missing every day. What do you say? People go missing every day. It is reality. But let me show you this now. That even in that, people go missing every day vibration there. Just understand this, go. We have done several programs directly dealing with Emperor Haile Selassie I and his stance and his position, I would say, amongst the world. He is the foremost statesman, the earth's rightful ruler, the world's greatest statesman, and all that stuff. That's Haile Selassie. So just go and check our works, check our YouTube videos specifically. We have a good series of programs directly dealing with Haile Selassie. Even Haile Selassie, is Haile Selassie a Freemason? Let me be careful how I say that. That's just a question. People get upset with me for the question. It's a question. You see, that's the thing. People get upset too quick. Why are you upset with me? I'm not asking the question. People ask me the question, and they have good reason. Everybody is not head in the sand like the ostrich, which ostriches don't really do that, but you know what I'm talking about. They're young people that see things and they want an answer. They know what a Mason is, and they see the king dress up in Mason clothes and a part of this and that and that and that and walking in Masonic procession, and they love the king, they hail the king, but they just want some clarity. So they come to me and they ask, hey, is Haile Selassie a Mason? So we have to answer it. So we have answered that. So anybody that has that question and never seen or heard the answer, go to our YouTube channel and type, is Haile Selassie a Mason? And you will get the answer I would consider properly. Yeah, the trumpet will get rusty. Yeah, you'll get the answer properly with clean understanding. The answer may even seem a bit Masonic and esoteric too, but that's what it is. So the point I'm making, that after bringing all of that to the forefront, understanding who this man is. Remember, we did who's the King of Glory when we put him against the shot, in a sense, And I'm speaking of Haile Selassie on the world scene. I don't mean biblically. I don't mean too much, stars. On the world scene, Haile Selassie on the world scene. It's only today they try to erase him like this is Back to the Future when them fellas were disappearing out of the picture. On the world scene, the King of Kings was the top of tops. And you're going to tell me that he just disappeared? Where's Haile Selassie? Well, he was here a minute ago. He's gone? Yeah. Oh, all right, well. Let's just carry on. But that's how he just gone, 27 years after. I think we should bury him, because these Negroes are getting suspicious. Bury who? Haile Selassie. Where is he? Well, we can fabricate something. It's all right. They did this in 2000. We can fabricate something. Don't you hear the plan for next year? No. You don't hear about the plan? World Trade Center? No. I'll tell you all about it. These people believe anything. Yeah, so in the year 2000, they buried some bones. Mutabaruka, Kokoti, and Dennis Brown have a song. Bone lie, Mutabaruka, bone lie. So when a man tell me about Haile Selassie and dead and so, and Haile Selassie being alive, my answer is never that Haile Selassie alive because he live in me. No. That sounds like an excuse answer. I agree he live in me, don't get me wrong. But he live in himself. Listen, I'm one of them radical with this. How old the king we know? 26, 27?
120.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, yeah, something like that. There are people older than that. There have a man that run a marathon the other day. This was on one of them news channels, not no underground news channel. 119 years old, the fella is, and run a marathon. 119. He's not the king of kings. He's not Haile Selassie. But you see, this is the thing, you have to understand who Haile Selassie is. I just show you who he is at the diplomatic level. How the man just disappear. Obama can just disappear, so. Not even Trump could disappear. You can't just disappear as them kind of people. Just disappear. I just boy, what a thing kept quiet. What a thing kept quiet. I born just a few years after the king disappeared. So what's going on? I never knew nothing about this man that disappeared. This great disappearing leader. It's sick. But that's just to show you the power of the emperor. And for me now, as a worshiper of such, of course, I don't care if you worship yourself, that's good too. Nothing wrong with that. I do a bit of that said way. Worship is a deep thing. Yeah, man, this worship thing high. I don't even want to go into them realms. This worship thing high. But anyway, yeah, as I'm saying, as a worshiper of such, for me to just say, well, he has been gone a long time, That's what enough Ras come to. I challenge any Rasta man in the world, anybody, any Rasta to prove that the king dead. And if you can't prove it, you should stop saying so. I know some Rasta tell you, well, the king said that the death of man is inevitable. So what? That don't mean he dead. Did he die the day after he said so? No. So why you feel he dead now? What get into your head that make you feel he dead? You sound like somebody that don't. This is the King of Kings. This is God come on earth, according to some of us, the first time in history, and God come as a human, and this is the fullness thereof. Just cool out, man. We still in the time of the King, Just cool, man. Just cool. What you think going on? Just cool. Listen, let me be clear here, and this ain't no spooky talk. I would admonish. How should I put it? Ones don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. Maybe I should put it that way. Ones do not know what will happen tomorrow. And I always tell ones, don't lose the faith and get caught up in this world that totally forget about quote unquote God by talking about Haile Selassie. Those of you who have faith in the emperor, Do not lose faith in the emperor. I don't care who believe me or believe me. That it's not for me to believe. You can't prove that the emperor dead. They have people on the planet that older than the emperor, Haile Selassie. And I know Haile Selassie enough, right? I know Haile Selassie enough that if you can't, then they have man that telling you they meet the king in 1980, this and 80 that. People that have a good reputation. And I must just, without any shred of evidence, knowing this world we live in, just jump up and say, well, maybe. So what happened? He was in the wilderness walking and he get thirsty and hungry and drop out. Come on, don't be playing around with the King of Kings. Wow, do not play around with the King of Kings. I ain't sending nobody on no spook tripping. But this is from my heart. I know that the emperor alive. Some of you drop the glass a little while. Oh, come on. You see, after all what I say a little while, welcome. Sweep up the glass, throw it in the rubbish, and then prove to me. Prove. Bring all the evidence you have. You need morgue record and so. Get the chicken bone records too. Bring them. Bring the size of the bone. Bring everything, because we can battle it and prove to me that Haile Selassie is there. Not even the man in them that officiate the funeral can prove that. And this is for all races that get too knowledgeable now. Too much Osiris and this and all them studies. None of them higher than the emperor, I telling you. But all of them good because they come together or they merge in the Emperor Haile Selassie I. So give thanks for your presence with us. Give thanks for the life giver and the keeper of life. All good doings and saying. Let me just repeat once again this year's equinox. Listen, so many things happening in the world right now. So let me just show you that this year's equinox, our spring equinox experience, everybody's coming. All of you coming. Listen, if you're not coming, man, listen, you got to be here. But priest, you don't see how COVID is going on all around the world? That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So this is why we are putting a lot of emphasis this year in the virtual aspect of our equinox. So you don't have to leave nowhere. You don't have to put on no mask and go no place. Nobody's going to quarantine you. If you're not in to get a job by the injection, you ain't got to do none of that. You know, well, at least for now, you don't have to get an injection to come here. I don't know where you're leaving from, but they're kind of, to be honest, tightening up on their little rules and their curfew, because in Antigua, they had a spike of COVID yesterday. I'm sure by tomorrow, next spike, and another whole little stuff that's going on. I don't even want to talk too much about that. So to be honest, listen, we ain't playing John the Baptist here. We don't know exactly what's going to happen in March. You know, that was a little joke, you know, John the Prophet, John the Baptist, you know, prophesied in that manner. So maybe by March, you never know, the sun may not turn into darkness. But what I'm saying is that we are giving the tours. We're having the evening hike and morning hike. They're going to be virtual. We're going to have the marijuana lecture and tour that is going to be virtual. I'm talking about high quality. Eh? Listen to me. High quality presentation. We will be working with Visual Eyes Studio, Vem TV, Brother Zaza Yellow. I mean, those of you in Antigua, I mean, when you hear Zaza Yellow, you know it's top quality. Those of you internationally, when Zaza Yellow is a man that has been in the business for decades, as far as when it comes to videography and these different things, you know, and production and editing. So we will be doing live streaming. Man, we will have the what's that stuff that fly up in the air, and so the drones and everything will be there. You'll get a proper visual of the hill. We'll be taking you through the parts. You'll be seeing all the rocks, and well, not all the rocks, but you'll be seeing a lot of rocks. Yeah, you see, okay, you know how much rocks there. You can't see all the rocks, but you'll be seeing a lot. Maybe you may even see things that those who are on the tour won't be able to see, because if the drone is flying and it can go down to some places that, because the hill is big, you can't really just go everywhere on the hill, but you'll be seeing the marvel of Greencastle Hill from your living room. Right now, the whole, what you call it? The whole package is $120. That's the whole, I mean, if you, I don't think they understand what's happening here. You're gonna come with us on the morning hike. That's the morning of the 19th, when we're going up Greencastle Hill. You're gonna come with us on the evening hike. That's the evening of the 21st. That's when we're gonna have the Nyabingi drummings. We're gonna have a special guest lecture on the hill with us. It's gonna be a marvelous time, a real festive time. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be grand. That's like a 3-hour event. Well, for the people that will be watching us, it's going to be about 3 hours. You can stay in your living room, get all your snacks, get all the things you need, you know, put everybody together in front of the big screen and plug in. And you'll be there with us. You'll be going up the path with us, seeing the rocks with us. You know what I mean? You'll see me giving the lecture. We'll have other lecturers. We'll have so many different local celebrities will be there with us. You're going to really full enjoy that. And then, as I said, but prior to that, the morning hike, which will be the Friday morning, is going to be a bit more quiet. You know, it's not going to be, that's right, grammar there, a bit more quiet. That's it. Or a bit quieter. Which one? A bit more quiet, yeah, good. I mean, you know, not my first language, English, really. Yeah, a bit more quiet. If we're talking it in that, like, oh, I say, yeah, man, I'm so loud, man. Yeah, it's gonna be a bit more quiet, you know, a little more, you know, serene and silent. We'll be seeing the sunrise, no drumming as far as the heavy drumming and all of that. And the day prior to that, which will be Thursday the 18th, we will have the ganja tour. So we'll be going through the acres of marijuana the field of marijuana plants, I should say, cannabis, and you'll be seeing the different levels of strains and standards that we have here in Antigua. And that'll be like about a 2-hour tour that will be at the Rastafari headquarters at Ras Freeman. So in all, you're getting approximately 4 + 3 is what, 7, about 7 hours worth of streaming, my good brothers and sisters. Of course, that's just a fraction of the whole experience. The real experience is coming here. The real experience is being with us, because we're going to have yoga. We're going to definitely, I'll be giving a lecture on the Saturday evening. We won't be streaming that, not unless we change plans. You see, if people demand it, if you demand it, it will come. We would not be doing the health lecture, which will be the Friday night. We will be streaming that, but those who will be here with us will definitely be on that. We also will have a whole island tour where we'll be going to different historical sites as well, not just Greencastle Hill. You'll definitely full joy that as well. And yoga in the morning, that will be the morning before the hike. And of course, you'll be also enjoying the beach, vegan accommodations as well, everything, vegan meals, all of that, transportation also included in the price. You can even go to our Facebook page, Rastafari Experience Antigua, where we have the actual price of the whole package of the event itself for those who will be coming. A very economical event. You know, it should not be hard on your pocket, to be very honest. One more point, and as I said, still the virtual aspect of it. The virtual aspect of it is only $120. So that was the point I was making. Only for $120, you get the full tour plus the full marijuana tour and the hike. You just pay that fee, and when the time comes, you get the timer, you get your key to enter, you open the web page, and then you're there, you sit in. As I said, it will be crystal clear. It is of the highest standard. Listen to me, you're getting the highest standard of viewership. The visual, that's the name of the group, Visualize Studios. So when you see for yourself, Brother Yellow is as a yellow, you're getting the highest quality of work. So we're looking forward for you being there. That's why I said everybody is going to be there. Even if you're not there, you're going to be there, because you can be there now without being there. So I'm hoping that you be there. And of course, you know, you can contact me, priestisaac27@gmail.com. That's priestisaac27@gmail.com to get more information. And we will be giving you more information as it relates to that, even as the time gets close. So, as we say here on the shock of the hour, it was quite lengthy this evening, but it was nice. If you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of your Bible will become a mystery. And of course, as I said, man, if you are not hooked up to the homeschool for the youth, you could definitely, it's not too late. Ones are still asking me if it's too late to join. It's never too late. It's a package that is already prepared for you. So just contact us and definitely we will, you know, carry you through what you have to do. And remember, we can send you the brochure. We can send you the same brochure you see us show, brochure, for sure, that you see us show on the platforms on Facebook and on the YouTube and on whatever else out there. We have a few different handles. We're on Instagram too. I think we have 2 Instagram pages. I know sometimes, and a lot of ones reach out expecting to reach out to me directly. A lot of these different ones, different pages right now. Our team is growing. You know, our team is growing specifically. Sometimes you make a call, you see numbers flying and you make a call. Please don't be disappointed if it's not me specifically you get, because as I said, the team is growing specifically. A lot of work here to be done as it relates to African liberation and righteousness. So definitely, yeah, you know, it takes some realize that are amongst us. Yeah, the Black Christ living and reigning forevermore. Give thanks for his love and mercy, King Emmanuel VII. Adonai God, Jah Rastafari. That's it, love.